difficulties. Dear sons and daughters of the planet Earth, I am Sananda. Once again, I'm grateful to be able to be here communicating with you in an easy and extremely multiplying way. The moment is for many things happening at the same time. It is a time of pleasant surprises and others not so much. A lot is changing. A lot is being brought into your life that you never imagined. Many are having many experiences, extremely interesting, and others not so much. The journey of each soul describes exactly what you are going through today. It is as if everything that your soul needs to transmute, everything that your soul needs to learn, is applied in a single moment, no longer in several incarnations. All lessons are being presented in this incarnation. Many are not aware of this and let the lessons pass, believing that there is time, that there is still a long time to correct, to improve as a human being and as a soul. But I tell you that the time is short. The time that you still have to correct a lot is very small. They are no longer incarnations. It is no longer a dozen or more years ahead. Time is short. So this is the time to search every minute. Not every day, it is every minute. If you change, prepare, analyze yourself so that you at least stop generating new problems. If you keep yourself balanced, if you can stay within the lines necessary for the fifth dimension, you start to worry only about what's coming from the past, because every minute everything comes, but with the certainty that you will not be generating anything further. Now, if you don't care about it, if you keep making the same mistakes, if you keep losing your balance, being aware of it, you're planting now and you will reap right away. So it is where many realize that it seems that they do not move, who walk, and suddenly sleep and go back there again. That's exactly why, because you keep repeating the same mistakes. You know you are wrong, you know what the error is, but you do not hold back and make the same mistake again. So later on, you will have to deal with everything that is coming from the past and what you are causing today, because everything is coming back very fast. So attention, always attention, it has to be immense in every minute, in every thought, in every word, in every actions. It's not, I will get better tomorrow, I will get better someday. Now that doesn't fit anymore. It is necessary to improve here now to understand the error and avoid repeating it, so that your journey gives you the impression that you are going forward. And I can even say that those who have the impression that they are not walking, are not at all, are doing exactly that. It is as if they were walking a good stretch of the road and suddenly they slipped and returned all over again, having to start the stretch again. The vast majority are like that. I must warn you that the closer to the fifth dimension, but the things accelerate and the more everything arrives exactly to be transmuted and modified. Do not understand and that the closer the easier it is. It's just the opposite. The closer you get to the fifth dimension, the more everything swells to be dealt with, because the closer you get, the shorter the time you have to fix everything. Then things start to fall in front of you much faster. That is why you have the feeling that you are coming and going, and that is exactly what happens. You go, you are not able to transmute everything, and you come back. But on the other hand, I must tell you that the walk is the same. It has no other way of being. You will always have a lot of going forwards and coming back a good while. But I can say that you did not make the journey. From the point that you got to where you start to sleep, there is always a positive balance. So in the end, you walked a bit, even if it was a single step. But it will all depend on how you are treating each thing that appears, each strange moment, each strange fraction of the other. How are you treating this? Still angry, still discouraged, still lacking in love? Or are you understanding that this is all a test, and actually it's a test to see if you have learned the lesson, so it has to come back again so that you can demonstrate, yes, I learned, and that is definitely over. So the tests keep coming back all the time, and as you haven't really learned yet not to repeat the mistake, you come back, you sleep back on the walk. But this cannot and should not be a cause for discouragement. Everything is learning. So at each moment, at each step by that you realize that you have faltered again, you have to stop, understand, walk to your higher self. How do I get rid of this? What do I need to do to get rid of this lesson? And be sure that your higher self will answer you, be it with words, be it with thoughts, be it with something you will see. Stay tuned, because you will have an answer. Do not feel incapable, never at any time. The lessons are hard, and I can tell you that the lessons are represented to you in order of ease of learning. First, the easiest ones, so that you can walk, so you are getting to that, as you would say in your games, that difficult phase of the journey, because now there are those heavier lessons, the ones where you really need to transmute with only one feeling, love. There is the most difficult lesson, which is to listen, to pass, to see, and not to emanate in feeling other than love. That is why you slide so much, because the lessons are at the difficult level. It is not easy to get past them. But I'm not saying here that you don't have the capacity. You have a lot. So ask for help, talk to your higher self, ask your masters for help. You are forgetting your masters. They are there by your side, seeing everything. And when you go to talk to your masters, don't explain the situation. Many of you do this, explaining the situation from time to time, as if they were not there seeing everything. So in this way, you say to them the following: look, I went through this and you didn't see it, agreeing that they are far away, they are not close to you. So when you are in trouble, just ask, what do I do to get out of this? Because your masters know what you are going through. They are not asleep, and they are not far from you. They are all there next to each one of you. So just ask the questions: what do I do to finish this lesson? Have to act so that it doesn't come back, and wait for the answers. I assure you that you will have. So no discouragement, nothing to think that the walk will not take you to the fifth dimension, for it's exactly the proximity of the fifth dimension which is making you go through all this, through so many experiences that are difficult to be transmuted, to be lived. Are you having difficulties? Ask for help. This is what you have to do. And the masters are getting closer and closer to you just for that, but they can do nothing if you don't ask. You forget that. You think that everyone around you has an obligation to carry you on their lap to avoid all sorts of problems. Once again, I would say to you, if that were the case, the soul would not evolve. So you have this bad habit of playing on the other, the responsibility for your actions. Do not do this with your masters because they do not act this way. They only act when you ask. Of course, there is protection from them, but all up to a certain limit. Now solve the problems. This never. You have to ask for help, then yes. They act and you often forget that. Try to work things out on your own, and then what happens? That big slide because you can solve the problem alone. It is not a shame. It is not an inferiority to ask for help your masters. They can help you, not the other, not another human being. Each has their own perspective on a problem. So if you ask another human for help, he will give it to you from his perspective. Will it be good for you? So stop playing on the other's back, solving your problems. Now your masters do. You can ask for help, but it is not asking them to solve the problem because that too they will not do. It is asking them to help you find the way out, to find a way to get rid of that. This they can do. Then the journey becomes more and more difficult, exactly for the purification of you for the fifth dimension. Don't complain, don't think it's unfair. You think you have already transmuted everything, but I tell you, a lot of heavy things are yet to come. You transmute that you have the capacity to do at the moment. Nobody is presented with an extremely difficult lesson. If one doesn't have the capacity to pass it, it would be a knockout on our part. So if you are going through difficult things, it's because you have already reached the front and now you have full powers and full conditions to have an understanding of how to resolve each one of them. So you are not punished for anything. You are just getting the heavier burden because only now you are in a position you to know how to get through each one of them.